everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I am going to show you a project today that I'm going to incorporate a bunch of little things that you may have missed in the mini catalog. I'm not going to point them out in the catalog, but after you're done watching this video, if you want to see any of them, I will have all of the things listed under the YouTube video or with pictures over on my blog, and the link for that will be under the video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching someplace else, just go to my blog and it'll be one of the most recent posts and it'll have everything. I am going to use a couple of different, well, let's do these first. Just a real quick, in case you've missed it, I like to do these occasionally. These are a couple of the last tutorials that I've done. This one here uses, it's actually my club alternative. We are doing By the Bay, which is the the seascape things. I'm not even hungry. So this has that paper and the pearls, I switched over the stamp. And so instead of using the sea creatures, I used this really fun, perfectly detailed large stamp. And then this one I did, I think yesterday. Sometimes I forget, well, the one I'm doing today, I did yesterday as well. I just didn't tape it. So sometimes I can't remember when I made something. But this is citrus, sweet citrus maybe is the name of it. Super fun. The first time I'd used it. And that folder is just fabulous. Look at the texture it gives to your citrus, as well as making a great background. Yesterday when I made this card, I thought about using this paper that I'm going to use today, but I decided to tone it down a little bit and really let those lemons pop. For the star of the show today, we are going to use this paper, and it is a free celebration item. So everything in this catalog is free with a purchase. This is free with a $100 purchase because it's 48 sheets. I wanted to have a new unopened package so you can see it's a lot of paper, because all of the other paper are free with 50. And so I didn't want you to think, why am I getting a free with 50? And I think, so let's look, because I can open this now. So if you get a free with 50, you get 12 sheets. So it's like getting 4 packages, right? Because it's 48 sheets free with 100. So you spend twice the money and get 4 times the paper. And it's so pretty. And there will be so many things, especially coming up this spring, that you can do with it. It's great for birthdays, all occasion cards. I just love the star one on the top. Of course, it's double-sided like all of our designer series papers are. So I'll try to flip through so you can see them because I know like that beautifully happy stamp is really pretty. Now, if you're in Card Club, next month you will be getting some of all of this paper in your Card Club. Not nearly this giant stack. For one, it would cost me a fortune to mail this, but you will get some of all of it in Card Club. But otherwise, you can all have it free with a $100 purchase. Tons of paper. I'm going to use my favorite pattern, and I realize it's my favorite pattern. I like this one. I love the color combinations. But because it's on a card, this one, that for a Try It class, if you're in Try It class, you're going to get this piece too. And then I did it today, and it's been a minute since I designed that card. And then when I did it, I was like, I must really like that piece of paper. I'm going to use that. And then I'm also going to use, we'll just get this stuff off the table. This is the new little mini cut and emboss. It's the exact same as the white one, but this is an upcoming new in color, and it can also be yours for free during celebration if you sign up to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I would love to have you be part of my team. And not only do you get this, but you get $50 more in whatever you pick in your kit if you sign up to join my team before the middle-ish of January. We're coming up on the middle-ish now, aren't we? Before I run out of Try It class packets, I always make a few extra for the new people that join and for postage and stuff. And that class is around $80. So you get those free. The first 3 you always get free. See, it works super simple, just like our big machine. You can't it will tell you in the catalog everything that will fit in here. But back to the class. My team members always get that class for free if they participate in the Zoom. When you're new, you get the first 3 if you can make it to the Zoom or not. You do have to have a Facebook because I put all of the instructions on our team Facebook page. I'm getting ready to issue them a challenge, a creative challenge. We do a lot of creative stuff. Some of my people do it more like I do it all the time and kind of businessy, but the vast majority do it just for the discount. So if that's you, or some of them just, you know, have a few people that buy from them, just pop these out. So this is maybe you've missed it in the catalog. Probably not if you follow me, because I've had mine for a while. It's the shimmer paper. And it's a different kind of shimmer paper than we've ever had. It's glimmery, and I'll put the link down underneath. It comes in gold, green, and then this freesia color. And then this butterfly is, I don't remember the name. It's in the annual catalog, but any butterfly that you have, and I know we all have a butterfly die or two if you've been around Stampin' Up and you have dies. So just get one out that's kind of that size, and that would work. You most certainly wouldn't have to buy a new set of butterflies for this. I'll just keep going kind of in the order of that I'm using things. This is now stuck to that. I'm going to use the stencils, and these are in the mini. You may have missed them. They're different than we've had before. Usually they're like this and they make backgrounds. This one I didn't even use. This is a layering one. So I'm going to show you how I layered them. I took a piece. I like to work on my Stamparatus. It gives a nice base and the ink rubs off of it if it gets on there, and it's easy to clean. Going to use shimmer white. And this is cut like a 1/4 inch less than 4 and a little bit less than 5, but then we're going to trim it down when we've got our image on there. It gives us just a little bit of extra to kind of work with. I just have a piece of washi tape. I'm just going to stick this right here in the corner. And then with these stencils, you start with the largest one. So I am going to, and of course you need to tape your stencil down. Put this on here. And the first one kind of sets the stage for where everything else is going. So it doesn't have to be straight, it's just a flower. And then I'm going to use, okay, here's the paper. Remember that beautiful paper? So this has papaya, and it's coral and freesia. So those are the colors that I chose. That made it easy, huh? Let's Stampin' Up artists pick my colors. I was gonna use my baby, the new blending brushes, but then I thought, well, I already have an orange and a purple one, and this part, the purple would be perfect for it. The orange is a little bit of a big area, so it's fine for the larger one. So you just put this on here. I'm going to get everything first in the papaya. And if it gets on here, you can just wipe it off if it gets on your plate. Sometimes if you have it on a larger piece of cardstock, you can get the edges, so you need to be careful. But since we're going to trim this one down, and I've got it cut so it covers the whole thing, but if you have an issue with that, just cut your cardstock a little smaller. There is our papaya. I'm not even going to switch brushes because we're going orange to orange. But you do need to switch your stencil. This is why I like to have the washi tape, because it keeps everything basically in the same spot. I did put a tiny piece of fuse under here. Not fuse, that we had that a long time ago, of seal. Now you're gonna match this one up. And see how it matches? You match these, then you make sure these are matched. Those are matched, and then when the 3 dots to the outside are matched, your flower's good. And it doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you're doing more than one of these on a card, because flowers don't always look exactly the same. So this is Calypso Coral. This one would be good on the tiny baby brush. And you feel like you don't want to get everywhere because you feel kind of like you're covering everything up you just did, but the stencil's doing the work for you. So don't worry about that. Now I've done it once, and because this is kind of a highlight color, I'm going to go back in, get a bunch in my brush like that, so I have a couple of spots that are darker, but not all of them, just some. And it's fun to do, so there's a temptation to keep going, but we don't want to do that. That's the coral, and look how much fun this is when you lift this up. Isn't that fun and so easy to do? If you've never stenciled your walls or anything, this would be a great time to kind of practice it. There's a slippy side and a not slippy side. You want to ink on the not slippy side. At least I like to ink on the not slippy side. Get those leaves on here. And they don't really have a place to go. So it's just either side of the flower. Now for this, I'm going to use fresh freesia. Because you know my paper, that's where we got it. And the shimmer paper then matched the fresh freesia. Get your leaves. And the nice thing about stencils like this is you don't have to worry about the colors. Sometimes when you're doing this and you've had a color, then you can grab it on the outside of the stencil, which is why I like to use the not slippy side. It smears a little bit less, but on these it doesn't even matter. So there we have some purple leaves. It's not your traditional leaf color, but it matches the paper. And it looks very springy when we're done. And now you have the veins for your leaf. Just pop those on. And you can see it's only going to do parts of the leaf, which leaves us able to do the same color again. So I'm just going to do freesia, and this time it will be freesia on freesia, so it'll be just darker on this second, which you could do for the papaya. Papaya is just a light color, so you'd have to put a little bit more on that second coat. And Calypso Coral is a dark color, so you'd have to go lighter if you wanted to do that the first for the flower, and you could easily. This would be perfect for those tiny little blending brushes, the new ones. And look how much fun this is when we are done. Isn't that cute? And so easy. In fact, it would be a great project if you have kids that like to craft with you, because it's easy to do. Now I'm making this for a thank you card, and I want it to be just a little bit more. So I thought of different things that I could do to it, and I wanted to maybe just make it a little bit more artsy. So I took my blends. Let's start with our dark Calypso Coral. No, let's start with our light Flirty Flamingo. And you can notice there's no flamingo on here, but flamingo, this is the blends cap. Maybe they've changed. I don't think this looks very flamingo. Flamingo is kind of that in between coral and papaya. So I'm just going to take my brush tip, and I'm just going to add just a tiny bit more. See how it's just kind of filling that in? Adding a little bit more of the floral look to it. And it's most certainly not a realistic flower, but it kind of gives that more realistic tones of flowers. And you don't want to do it everywhere. Again, it's fun to do, fun to color. So there's a little temptation to just keep going with it. I'm just hitting those places again. I have a new flamingo one, but sometimes when they're getting closer to being dry, that puts just the right amount of ink out. Now let's go to our dark Calypso Coral. This time I'm going to use my bullet tip. I'm going to do the same thing where I just kind of highlight some spots. The blends give you a little bit more control, so I can control where my color is going. And if you color with markers, then where you like go over the top of the same color again, like when you're doing these lines like this, they get darker and darker. You know, markers just don't color like blends do. So this blends really nicely, even though I'm not blending colors. If I was so inclined and didn't have 5 million things to do, I would do a before and after picture. But here's what happens is I go to do my after pictures and I don't have a before. And then I have to make another one. Now I'm going to take the brush tip of my flamingo again. And right here where those spots are going over, I'm just going to go from that dark to kind of the brighter flamingo and then to the coral. Now you can, this tip is more dry than the brush tip is, but I don't need very much of it, just to kind of blend those edges out. And then I thought about spritzing over the top of it, because how much fun would that be? But I didn't. Now I have my dark freesia. I'm going to use the brush tip. Just going to kind of give that a center, just so it has a little bit more of highlight right there, kind of in the center of the leaf. And you wouldn't have to do this. It was beautiful before I start. I'm just kind of showing you something if you want to take it up a notch. Super pretty. Now I do want to trim this down because the reason I'm going to trim it down is I want to see as much of this paper, and look, with that you don't see as much. So I'm just going to take it over to my trimmer and just trim around that. Just trimmed everywhere, and now look how much more of that paper you see behind it. It's amazing when you just take off a fraction of a piece of cardstock how much it can do. And I just went kind of right up next to the edge, so they're all pretty much right there. Now I'm going to use Kind and Sincere. This is in the new mini catalog, and I love it. Look, you put all these sentiments together, and I really wanted to do congratulations, but I cut this down, and it's amazing what taking off a 1/4 inch can do. The congratulations no longer fit. I wanted to do congratulations you too, and then I was going to do heartfelt congratulations you too. It didn't fit, so we're going to do a thank you card. But there, the words in here they're kind of builder words, and you can mix and match to get whatever you want. I'm going to do my thanks in black just so it has a fun little bit of contrast, and then I'm going to put it down here because I'm going to put the word here. And then that way, see, if you do it this way, some more of those darker things are going to compete with the black. This way, it's mostly going to be black. So get the black that says thanks. Now, if you have a hard time with getting lines or messing up your words, I would stamp your words first. Good thing I didn't mess that up, huh, when I was saying that. Because once you've done all that work, if you mess up your words, then it's kind of over. So if you have an issue with that, just do this first and then do the flower second. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. Now I'm going to get my Calypso Coral. And I'm going to get the R in order. So my card says, thanks are in order. And I put that pretty close to the bottom on this one. But they can overlap. That's one of the reasons you do 2 colors. Perfect. Thanks are in order. I can't have any ribbon on this card. I know you're all shocked. How can I make a card that doesn't have ribbon? And here's what happened. And try it. There's a couple of cards that don't have ribbon because we have all those celebration papers. And then some of the sweets this time did not come with ribbon. And I was making them and I thought, well, these don't look horrible without ribbon. I'm going to take my butterfly that we've already done. Just add a little bit of glue. I want it to have that lift, and this will hold it on nicely. And if you put it in an envelope, it'll kind of pop back up when they open it. It's the fine tip glue. Then I'm going to put it on Gorgeous Grape. I put it behind Freesia. It was a little bit much Freesia. Gorgeous Grape, not in the paper. You could do it on coral. You could do it on some of the other purples. A lot of them would work. You could do it on white, but I really liked the way that it popped that. But just having a fraction darker of ink. I forgot sticking that on there. But I did. I was going to fall off when I picked it up. Then you may not have noticed these. These are the opaque adhesive backed gems, but they are not part of a suite. They are just in the mini, and they're easy to miss because they're just tucked away in a little corner. But look at the colors. And then it also matched my Gorgeous Grape. I didn't use this red one, although you probably could. It's not too far from the Calypso Coral. And remember, with these white ones, you can color them to be whatever color you want them to be. Let's add a white one here. They're going to go in a little bit of a different spot than my original card because my thanks is not in the same order. Let's do this one here. And we are done. Super simple card. Look, this one fell off. So we're going to go with 4 because I can't waste this one that just fell off the package. I don't know why I have my scrapey tip out. I have not used a scrapey, but I'm going to use, I have 3 more ideas with the stencil. One is using the paste. One is using watercolor. How much fun is that? So super simple. And I hope that you can see it is not nice here today, guys. It is rainy and gray. I went out to lunch with my dad and stepmom, and if you follow me, you know Cake Bake's my favorite place. We went to Cake Bake for lunch, but it was dismal out there. When I got up, it said it was going to be 50, and I'm like, oh, it'll kind of be springish, but it is so foggy you can't see, and it's been raining. So I don't know if you can see the beautiful shimmer paper and the beautiful shimmer of my butterfly, but I may do a shimmer reel on Instagram where I can kind of show you these, because when you move them and have your camera close, it picks it up a little bit better. If you're interested in any of these products, make sure you use my host code, because I do thank you gifts every single month. You get thank you cards, you get in on some private videos where you also get the supplies. Visit my website, make sure you're on my email, and then you'll have all the information that you need. Everybody have a good one. Bye.